Everybody is obsessed with AI agents right now. Everywhere I look, I see people building AI sales agents, AI receptionists, AI appointment setters, and even AI customer support agents. And don't get me wrong, a lot of these systems are genuinely impressive. Some of them are incredibly advanced. But after spending the last year building automation systems and voice agents for real businesses, I realized something that completely changed how I think about this industry. Nobody actually cares about your AI agents. And before you click off the video because you think I'm saying AI agents are useless, that's not what I'm saying. AI agents are incredibly valuable. I build them, I sell them. I believe they're going to become a normal part of almost every business. But businesses don't buy AI agents because they're AI agents. They buy them because they solve a problem. And I think this is one of the biggest reasons why so many people struggle to get clients, struggle to position themselves properly, and struggle to build systems that businesses actually want. Because they're focused on the technology, while the business owner is focused on the outcome. And once you understand this difference, everything changes. How you build, how you sell, and even how you market. So in this video, I want to break down the biggest misconception I see in AI automation space right now. So in this video, I want to break down the biggest misconception I see in AI automation space right now. Why businesses think completely different than builders do, and the framework I use when evaluating whether an AI project is actually worth building in the first place. I think the AI automation space has a builder problem. And what I mean by that is most of us got into this space because we enjoy building things. We like solving technical problems. We like connecting systems together. We like making something work. We get excited when a workflow finally runs successfully, when an API connects, and when a voice agent books an appointment, when an automation saves somebody time, and that's great. But there's a downside to it as well. Because when you're a builder, it's very easy to assume that everybody else thinks like builders, but they don't. A business owner does not think like a builder. A dentist doesn't think like a builder. Even a law firm owner doesn't think like a builder. They're not sitting there wondering which model you're using. They're not wondering whether your workflow has 10 steps or 50 steps. They're not wondering if you're using Make.com, N8N, Zapier, or some custom code. They're thinking about completely different things. They're thinking, why are the leads not converting? Why are the calls being missed? And why is my team wasting so much time? Why are the customers waiting so long for a response? Or even why am I paying people to do repetitive tasks all day? Why does every process feel disorganized? That's what they care about. And that is why so many AI builders accidentally position themselves incorrectly. Because they walk into a conversation talking about AI when the business owner is thinking about operations. They walk into a conversation thinking about technology when the business owner is thinking about revenue. And because they're talking about different things, the value gets lost. One of the biggest shifts I had was realizing the same system can sound either extremely valuable or completely irrelevant, depending on how you explain it. Let's imagine I tell a business owner, we build an AI voice agent connected to multiple tools that can update your CRM, access your calendar, answer questions, collect information, and generate summaries. That is technically true. But most business owners don't immediately understand why they should care. Now imagine I explain the exact same system, but differently. We help make sure every lead gets contacted quickly. Appointments get booked automatically. Your team spends less time on repetitive work and nothing falls through the cracks. It's the same system, same technology, same automation, but completely different perception. One explanation describes the technology, the other describes the outcome. And businesses, they buy outcomes. This is why I think so many people are chasing the wrong thing. They're trying to build more impressive AI agents when they should be focusing on solving more valuable problems. Because a simple system that solves an expensive problem will almost always be more valuable than a complicated system that solves a small problem. And I think that's where this industry is headed. Not towards more complexity, but towards more usefulness. Now let's take this one step further, because I think this is where most people accidentally make their life harder. Let's imagine two people build exactly the same system, same AI, same workflow, same automation, and same result. Now, person number one says, I build an AI agent. And person number two says, I help businesses respond to leads faster so they stop losing opportunities. Which one sounds more valuable? I hope you'll see the second one. And here's the interesting thing. The second person didn't actually change the system. they change the positioning. This is one of the biggest lessons I've learned in automation. The technology itself is rarely the thing people buy. People buy what the technology allows them to achieve. Okay, let's look at another example. Imagine somebody says, we build an AI receptionist. Okay, sounds cool. Now imagine somebody else says, we make sure every call gets answered, even when your staff is busy. Same thing, but completely different perception. And the reason this matters is because businesses don't wake up thinking about AI. They wake up thinking about problems. A business owner doesn't wake up and say, you know what I need today? An AI agent. They wake up and say, we missed another call, or we need more appointments, or our staff is overwhelmed. Those are the problems. And your AI system is simply the vehicle that solves those problems. The more I build, the more I realize that the technology should almost disappear from the conversation. Not because it's not important, but because it isn't the main thing. The outcome is. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck. They become so focused on building impressive things that they forget to ask whether the thing they're building actually matters. Because if nobody cares about the outcome, they definitely won't care about the technology. So let me show you the framework I use now before I build anything. And honestly, I wish someone had taught me this earlier. Whenever somebody comes to me with an idea, I don't immediately think about the automation. I don't immediately think about the AI. I don't immediately think about the workflow. Instead, I ask 5 questions. Question number 1: what is the actual problem? Not the proposed solution, the problem. Because a lot of people show up with a solution already in mind. They say, I think we need an AI receptionist, or I think we need an AI agent. But what they actually need might be completely different. So, first, what is the problem? Question number 2: how often does this problem happen? Because if the problem only happens once a month, it might not be worth solving. If it happens 50 times a day, now we're paying attention. Question number 3: what happens if we don't fix it? This is probably the most important question because now we're measuring impact. What's the cost of doing nothing? Time, customer experience, stress, or lost opportunities? And question number 4: can this process be standardized? Because if every situation is completely unique, automation becomes harder. The best automation opportunities are repetitive. They follow a pattern, they have rules, they have predictable outcomes. And question number 5: how do we measure success? Because if we can't measure success, you won't know whether the system actually helped. This is where a lot of people fail. They build first, measure later. But I think it should be the opposite. Define success first, then build. Because once you know what success looks like, designing the system becomes much easier. And that's why I don't start with tools anymore. I start with the problem. Then I work backwards. Okay, now let's make this practical. Imagine a medical aesthetic clinic. Most people would say, let's build an AI receptionist. Maybe. But what's the actual problem? After asking questions, you might discover that leads are coming in through forms. Staff are busy, follow-up is inconsistent, and people forget. And some leads never get contacted. Now we know the real problem. It's not answering calls, it's follow-up speed. Completely different conversation. Now, let's look at a law firm, for example. Again, somebody might say, we need an AI assistant. Maybe. But after asking questions, you discover they receive a lot of inquiries. Many are not qualified, and staff spend time speaking with people who aren't a fit. Now, the problem isn't customer support. The problem is qualification. Again, completely different conversation. And what's interesting is all of these businesses might ask for AI, but they all have different problems, which means they all need different solutions. And this is why understanding the business is so much more important than understanding the tool. The tool is the easy part. Understanding the business is where the real value is created. Most people would look at something like this and think, this is the product. It's not. The workflow is just a mechanism. The product is what happens at the end. The lead gets contacted, the appointment gets booked, the customer gets a response, and that's what businesses actually care about. I think we're entering a really interesting phase. A few years ago, simply mentioning AI was enough. Then everybody started building chatbots. Then everybody started building AI agents. And now everybody is building AI employees. And eventually, all of those terms will become normal. Businesses won't care whether something is called an AI agent or an AI employee or an AI assistant. They just care whether it works. Think about email. Nobody buys email, they buy communication. Nobody buys a CRM, they buy organization. Nobody buys automation, they buy efficiency. I think AI is heading the same direction. The technology will become expected. The differentiator will become business understanding. Which means the people who win won't necessarily be the people with the fanciest prompts, or the most advanced workflows, or the coolest demos. It will be the people who understand business problem the best. Because once AI becomes normal, understanding the problem becomes far more valuable than understanding the technology. And honestly, I think that's good news, because it means the future belongs to builders who can think strategically, not just technically. So, if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's this. Stop obsessing over AI agent. Start obsessing over the problem. Because businesses, they don't buy AI agents anymore. They buy outcomes. And the people who understand that are going to build better systems and create more value and have much more easier time standing out as this industry gets more competitive. I'm genuinely curious though. Do you agree with this? Or do you think AI agents themselves are becoming the product? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And if you're building in the AI automation space, tell me what you're working on right now. Whether it's a voice agent, a workflow, an internal automation, or you're trying to get your first client. I'd love to see where everybody else is at. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, because in the next one, we're going to talk about something I think is even more important. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.